Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here on such short notice. I know there's a lot of other newsworthy events happening in the city today, but I wanted to briefly give you an update on a very important investigation that we've been conducting. I'll take a limited number of questions at the conclusion of my statement, but I would ask that each of you understand that there are many details about this investigation that we won't be able to comment on at this time. Also have with me Deputy Chief Anthony Parkinson. He is the Deputy Chief of the Uniform Bureau, which oversees our Criminal Investigation Division, so he may be helping me answer some of your questions this morning. Investigators with the Fort Smith Police Department have identified and arrested 15-year-old Camuel Mark Andrew Stuckey for the murder of 26-year-old Chanel Moore, along with several other serious crimes. Moore was shot and killed during an apparent robbery of Doug's East Side Convenience on March the 24th of this year. This arrest was made during a SWAT operation carried out on May 4th on the east side of Fort Smith on Mayo Drive. Our officers and investigators have worked tirelessly since the night of Chanel's murder to solve a case that many feared might be unsolvable. As I've indicated previously, this investigation required relentless attention to detail and a commitment to bring Chanel's killer to justice. I'm very proud of the men and women of the FSPD and the solid police work that they have done to accomplish this. Early in the investigation, we identified a black SUV as a suspect vehicle using video surveillance captured by businesses near the crime scene. On March the 27th, this information was provided to the public for help in locating it. A similar vehicle was located in the 9800 block of Mayo Drive after officers received a tip from a citizen in the area. The tipster indicated that the license plate on a black Mercedes SUV parked on Mayo Drive had been recently removed from the vehicle. They also reported that the vehicle was parked in areas that was not normal for it. Our investigators immediately followed up on the tip and located the Mercedes as described. In April, our department received a tip via Facebook from a concerned citizen about a robbery that had occurred in Barling on December 12th of 2022. Upon contacting the Barling Police Department, our investigators discovered that a firearm that had been recovered by police in the December robbery belonged to the owner of the Mercedes on Mayo Drive. Surveillance video from the Barling robbery also revealed a young male suspect who was wearing clothing identical to that worn by the homicide suspect and who was identified as the son of the Mercedes owner. That person was identified as Camuel Mark Andrew Stuckey. On May the 4th, our department conducted an arrest operation on Mayo Drive after obtaining an arrest warrant from Sebastian County Prosecutor Dan Shue for the December 12th Barling aggravated robbery, as well as a search warrant for evidence of the aggravated robbery. It was during this search that additional evidence of the homicide was discovered and Stuckey was arrested. Following the arrest and subsequent interview of Mr. Stuckey, he was booked and charged as an adult in the December 12th aggravated robbery into the Sebastian County Juvenile Detention Center. On today, our investigators obtained additional warrants on Mr. Stuckey for murder in the first degree, aggravated robbery for the robbery at Doug's East Side, and terroristic act which resulted from firing at the citizen who was leaving the parking lot of Doug's East Side at the time of the March 24th homicide. Now, this is an ongoing investigation. There's still additional evidence to process, and we don't want to do anything that will compromise the integrity of this case. But I do want to express my sincere appreciation for the public's patience, assistance, and the critical role that they played in providing the vital information that led to the arrest of Camuel Stuckey. Video surveillance and public cooperation are invaluable tools in solving cases of this magnitude, and I never doubted for a minute the ability of our investigators and our community to be able to solve this crime. I especially want to thank the family and the friends of Chanel Moore for their patience, their support of this investigation. My prayers remain with them at this difficult time, and the Fort Smith Police Department will continue to support them and assist them any way that we can through this process. And that concludes our statement. If you have any questions, again, keep in mind it may come with a no comment, but we'll answer it if we can.
When you talk to a 15-year-old boy who's being charged as an adult with murder, when you talk to him, what did he say? Did he confess to this?
I think that's probably something we won't be able to answer at this time. I will say that we have a very solid case. I'm confident in the outcome.
And you mentioned the firearm, a handgun that was used. I missed some of that, but talk to me again about that firearm. Do you believe that was the one that was used in the deadly shooting, or previously in that previous robbery? Clear that up for me.
We do believe or suspect that the firearm that was used in the December 12th Barling robbery is the same firearm that was used in the homicide, but that still requires forensics and follow-up from the crime lab that we don't have yet.
No.
No?
The Barling. Okay, sorry.
And this is why he's here.
Okay. So
I'll say you are.
I'm Deputy Chief Anthony Parkinson. I'm the non-uniform bureau commander for the Folsom Police Department. The firearm that was recovered during the Barling incident that happened on December 12th, that firearm's at the state crime lab. That firearm was not used in the Chanel's homicide.
But that firearm was key to tracking it back to this location. Is that correct? And the owner.
It was. The firearm that was recovered during the Barling incident led us to Stuckey.
Gotcha. Okay.
Do you believe this was a random or targeted attack?
The robbery was planned. I'm not going to comment any further than that.
Last, all we said was this overpack? I mean, it sounded crazy. Overpack of cigarettes. Does that still stand? Was that what was stolen, or can you comment?
I'm not going to comment on what was stolen at this time.
What do we know about this 15-year-old? If they're charged as an adult, normally I can't ask about juvenile stuff, but this is different. This person is being charged as an adult. What do we know about this person?
That's still under investigation, so I'm not going to make a comment on what we know about Stuckey. So the decision to charge him as an adult, that is coordinated with the prosecuting attorney's office. Dan Hsu, the prosecutor's office will make that decision. We discuss the case with them, keep them up to date on everything that has transpired, and once that decision is made, then we proceed with handling Stuckey as an adult.
And Brad, I will say that normally we wouldn't be able to provide you with a name because the suspect is a juvenile, but because we are charging as an adult, we can do that. However, there are limitations with the judicial system in regards to exposure for sentences and that sort of thing, because this individual is under the age of 18. And there will be a lot more coming out in you know the days that follow. But we really want to be very careful about making any kind of speculative statements regarding the family.
But for sure, this is his second time he's robbed a convenience store. This is the one at Barling, and then.
Strong evidence to suggest that, yes.
Okay. Has he been? Is it a Barling case for that one? Has he been charged in relation to that as well? Do I need to check with Barling Police, or can we say?
The warrant that we obtained, the arrest warrant that we obtained initially was for the aggravated robbery in Barling. And so we are assisting Barling with that investigation. The case will be in Sebastian County, probably Greenwood Court for that. But that was the warrant that got us to the house. And
Gotcha. So overall, I know people are wondering, what do you make of this? It's pretty alarming when we hear that a 15-year-old, a teenager, accused of one robbery, accused of murder right now. What do you make of that?
certainly a troubling situation. You know, it's bad anytime a crime like this happens, but when the perpetrator is, you know, a young person, makes it even more difficult to process. Again, would not want to speculate on causation or anything like that. I don't think that this is a person that has been on our radar per se. It's not somebody that we have dealt with on numerous occasions. just a bad situation for sure.
Is this person's parents, are they cooperating?
Yes, they have been cooperative. Obviously, something like this is going to have a devastating impact on a parent. So I do believe that they're working with us to see that justice is found.
What's next? This person, they're being held in the juvenile detention facility, I would assume?
Currently, yes.
Will you be able to provide us a mugshot of them?
I believe that Eric will have a photograph available for you. I know we were discussing that before I came into the press conference.
In closing, if my math is correct, today, 6 weeks to the day that you guys responded to this gas station.
Yes, sir.
And I know family members in the community who's worried about this turning into a cold case.
As were we.
That didn't happen.
No, sir. And we were committed to not allowing that to happen. I can't say how proud I am of the work that these men and women put into this. I cannot adequately express how valuable the help from the public was in solving this as well. And there's a lot of information out there, speculation, and folks do that naturally. I mean, especially when we have a crime like this, and as you said, possibility of it turning into a cold case, possibility of the offender doing something like that again. There's a lot of fear, and so I'm thankful that we live in a place that is understanding of that allows us to do our job, and when we can provide information, understand and appreciate that we're given everything that we can without compromising the investigation. But the folks that worked on this, they have been working at some points around the clock. I couldn't begin to tell you how many hundreds of man hours have been invested into this case, and I knew with full confidence that we would be standing here doing this at some point, and they certainly deserve all the credit, as does our community.
And lastly, in closing, did you say you believe this person was wearing the exact same clothes as that previous robbery? What happened?
It appeared so. Same color, style. It appeared to be the same clothing. Yes. If there are no other questions, I appreciate you all again. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here today, and just continue to pray for the family and our community. Thank you.